IGN Game Scoop is brought to you by...
Welcome back to Game Scoop, everybody. I'm joined now by Colin Moriarty, Marty Sleva,
Whoa.
Greg Miller's still here, and we're going to run down what we expect Sony to be showing at E3 2014, which kicks off on June 9th. Sony's press conference is 6 p.m. Pacific on
They're
June
closing
9th.
it again.
Yep, they close out. They typically close out the
ABC, always be closing.
Always be closing.
Yeah. That was Glengarry Glen Ross.
I don't think they meant it in the same way. This is meaning.
Colin, when the lights go down.
Yeah.
In the theater, I don't know what the theater.
It's a Civic
I don't
Center.
know what theater is. It's that
Isn't
Civic
it
Center.
Yeah,
It's the LA Sports Memorial, I thought again.
Oh yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's an arena that looks like
Yeah,
like
so the
Kings
same
played
place.
there in the 1970s.
The same place, the theater where they pulled the food trucks.
Correct.
Up to. When the lights go down, do we hear the Uncharted theme playing?
No, I mean I think that Uncharted will be there, but I think it'll be last.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it'll
and
be
one more thing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then David Jaffe drives out in a Cadillac with a guy that looks like Sully.
Okay.
And he's directing Uncharted.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
We can confirm that here.
Yeah.
So you don't think they start with Uncharted? What do
No.
they start with?
Stats, numbers. We're gonna see the new guy. You know, Jack Trenton.
Yeah.
Is gone.
Oh my God.
He's-
Yeah.
Big ups.
I forgot until just now that he's not going to
Rest,
be.
big man.
He
He's
died?
not going to be.
No, he went out on top. Good for him.
I know.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna meet the new fellow. Don't know his name off the top of my head. Won't for a few years probably. And so he's gonna do a lot of talking. Andrew House is gonna do a lot of talking. And then
British
they're probably
accents.
going to talk about PS3 and Vita first, you would assume,
Yeah.
and then they'll talk about PS4 after that.
You're missing. The lights are going to go out, and then it's just going to be a montage of crap we already know about.
Yep.
The order
Yeah.
will be mixed in there.
Yep.
Probably just that Uncharted teaser trailer at some point. Blah, blah,
Well, I was
blah,
going to say,
X's.
hopefully this will be like the first time in 5 years that the trailer's not set to dubstep.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
Hopefully
Yeah.
the
We passed that a
the
little
next
bit.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you think they start with PS3 and Vita?
Yeah.
PS3 price drop?
Yes. I think a PS3 price drop is a very secure bet. They can get these things out there more. Xbox 360 is still outselling PS3 pretty handily in the United States, and this could be a cash cow for them. But they have to get manufacturing costs down, too. Now, whether or not they introduce another PS3 model, which I don't think they will, or just make the George Foreman grill PS3 cheaper, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Delicious.
And delicious.
Yeah.
What do you think they'll have to say about Vita?
Greg and I talk about this a lot. I don't think they're giving up on Vita. I think that's a mistake to think that they are. They're bringing out some games this year. Soul Sacrifice Delta just came out. Freedom Wars, which is a really, really good-looking game from Japan Studios, coming out later this year. And I still feel in my gut, in my oversized cheeseburger-filled gut, Greg, that they're going to announce Infamous or God of War or something from the core franchise.
you were
a second
saying-
party.
We just did a video about what I want to see at E3, and I said Infamous Vita.
Yeah.
And because I think that's still where they have to prove that there can be a successful franchise on this system, that you can bring an established name to it and go. Borderlands 2 came out, right, and it's selling units. We know that from what we hear on the internet and Twitterverse. But as far as like reviews, it's not being super well received.
Yeah.
They need to be able to prove that it can. And when we talked to those guys, the team at Sony, that's the third-party people working on bringing games over like Borderlands, they talk about the fact that they're working with other games. There's other things they're working on. You know what I mean? And we'll see what that means.
And I mean, aside from Tearaway, I think the only game I've played in my Vita in the past 6 months have been indie games. Like,
Right.
it's awesome for indie games. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love playing, Spelunky and Hotline Miami and everything on there. But, I think that's going to continue. If we're going to see Vita, we're going to see a montage, another whole slew of indie games that are coming to PS3, PS4, and Vita, which is, I'm super down for. But, they need something. They need this core. Like, what is the tentpole game this year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason for them to abandon it yet. The attach rate of Vita is extraordinarily high. People that own Vita buy games. So once you get a Vita into people's hands, it goes to assume that people are buying games realizing the cost benefit of owning a Vita, and even if they don't, they can play it with their PS4 and stuff like that. So I think they spend a little bit of time on Vita. I think people are saying that they're going to ignore Vita or pretend Vita doesn't exist. I think you're completely wrong, but we'll see. Maybe they focus on PS4 for 9
I mean, I bet they butt the Vita section up to, or put it right after the PlayStation Now stuff, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. They're going to talk about PlayStation Now stuff.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
the closed beta is coming to PS4 tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's supposed to launch this summer.
Yeah, so we're right there on the cusp, but they're still on that time schedule, and you need to remind people that it exists and the fact that, hey, this is how great it is that you can play any one of these PlayStation games on any PlayStation device.
Yeah, definitely.
A good bridge between PS3 and PS4 would be Last of Us Remastered.
Sure.
Yeah, I assume that will be there. I think the
We
last...
we haven't seen it in action yet, have we?
No, well,
footage?
they had a little trailer that frankly looked exactly like the PS3 version of the game, but the PS3 version is so pretty. I mean, I don't know.
How many keys is it though?
Oh god, who cares?
1,080 of them.
When you watched it, what did the frame rate look like? Colin?
But I think Drive Club, The Order, and The Last of Us on PS4 are definitely going to be there. And I'm sure we'll see new parts of The Order and new parts of Drive Club, and so I think that some of these games we already know about will certainly be there. And The Last of Us seems to be their big summer release. Who knows how it will actually do? I'm sure that they were upset that it was leaked early because that probably halted the PS3 version being sold as much as it was. But I think that that's a safe bet too.
There have been some trademarks claimed by Sony recently.
Yes.
For computer software called Entwined and Killstrain.
Yes.
Have you seen anything about those?
No, so I mean, there's some speculation about what these were. Some people thought that Killstrain had to do with Sony Bend, specifically with Siphon Filter. I think they came out and said that that's not true. Sony Bend is working on something. I'm actually most intrigued by what they're working on. I have no idea what it is. Entwined, some people theorize that could be Media Molecules game for PS4. No one really knows. The only thing we know for sure is that this happens every year before E3. The Order 1886 was leaked before E3 last year, and we knew that was a big game coming out. So these trademarks, who knows? These can be indie games, second-party games. These can be Sony Japan, little PSN games. I mean, who knows? Yeah.
You told me earlier, Colin, that you think they're going to show The Last Guardian.
Yes, I think so. Marty laughs at me, and Greg and I have had this bet for years, but it seems like the right time, right? Based on everything we know about The Last Guardian, I just talked to them a couple months ago about it. It's not canceled; it is in development. It's been in development for a long time. My assumption, and this is just my theory, is that it's a PlayStation 4 game. It's going to come out by the end of the year. That they haven't talked about it, don't want to show it because they know that the mojo around this game of showing it so early and then not having it was a bad idea. So I really think that if it's not here, maybe at TGS, they're going to be like, it's ready, play it on the show floor, it'll come out in November or something like that. Because there's, I think they just have to get it out and just be like, all right, fine, here you go. We're done with it. And
2D side scroller.
UBR engine.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I think this is the year.
One more thing. Who's excited for Cat Dogs? Lights go out, trailer starts.
If it was canceled, we would know by now. They refuse to. Like I've asked them a million times: is it canceled? Is it canceled? Is it coming out? Is it coming out? They always say yes. It's in development. It's coming out. It's in development. And we know that when they cancel games, they own up to it. Sony Santa Monica's game, which was supposed to be shown at E3 this year, was canceled, and that team was unfortunately laid off. So it's not like they're shy of doing that.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Last Guardian.
It's one of those things me and Colin make this bet every year because it's always feasible. You're always like, well, it's on there. It doesn't sound crazy, and it would be in a year where, I mean, the E3 we just talked about doesn't sound super exciting. Like it doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound we talked about it in the section before, right? Like what a crazy press conference it was last year.
Yeah.
Like we've never ended a press conference and been like,
wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like that is like on another level.
Yeah.
This definitely feels like they're shifting down in terms of gears, so they need something to get you excited about.
Yeah.
And the thing I don't come down with on Colin the same way is Uncharted. If we're gonna see Uncharted, I mean, I don't know what we'd see, but I feel like that game is so far off the track right now that they can't show too much.
There's only been negative press about that game recently.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So,
which forces their hand to do something,
Yeah.
I mean, but even so, like I don't even know what you come out and say. Then you
would have to show the most vertical slice.
Evan and
imaginable.
Christoph come out and they're like, hey, there's been a lot of talk about Uncharted, where it is, what's happening. It is still coming. This is when it's coming. Here's a short look. And then again, it's just got to be a super, super short trailer. More VO fading up into Drake's feet walking into something and a quick gunfight and then it's over.
Yeah.
But that sounds weak too, but they need it. The same reason they, I think, debuted it so early, right? The PlayStation 4 is out and there's no giant titles, but this is what you bought it for. It is happening. Bam.
Yeah.
Then everybody left.
Womp womp. I'm gonna say no on Last Guardian, if only because either I'm right and I feel good, or I'm wrong and we get Last Guardian.
Like you're glad you're wrong.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
I mean, that's how I feel about Uncharted. Like, I hope they come out and have an awesome thing. But.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% sure in my mind that Uncharted will be there. Like, I just can't imagine that they're not going to have Uncharted. I think people are being really optimistic about seeing Uncharted before holiday 2015. I think that even that's early. I think that Naughty Dog has the right and earned the right to take its time. That the shakeup there with Amy Hennig and Justin Richmond leaving is going to cause some strain. They're recasting the villain, which is going to require more motion capture and all those kinds of things. There's a lot of work to be done, but I think that game is running. I think that game has been being worked on for a long time. I think that they can polish a part of the game and show it off and show Drake and show Sully. It doesn't have to have the villain in it. It doesn't have to have anything. Just show what it looks like, and just show Drake running around mass murdering people like he did for four other games.
It's just him.
5 other games if Fight for Fortune counts.
It's just
No
him
one's
and one.
counting. He did not murder anyone in that game, did he?
I don't know.
Just him running around a grid. So there's like no textures, no environment.
white
It's just
box.
him running around.
Yeah,
See,
like
look
it
at
is.
his jeans.
Where are jeans? Do you guys think they're going to show whatever David Cage is working on? That weird old man wizard thing?
Oh, Old Man Wizard.
Yeah.
Man,
who knows?
the wizard.
Yeah, I don't want to play that game.
Yeah, Quantic's been working on a PS4 game for a while, probably a couple of years, and Beyond Two Souls wasn't very good. So I think that, David Cage is an artist, right? And those guys are artists, and I think they're sensitive, too, about the way people feel about their games. I would be. So I think if they have the choice, they just hold it for another year and be like, we're not ready to show anything yet. Because, I think we were pretty high on Beyond when we saw it at E3, what was it, 2 years ago, right? And it leaked that morning, and then we saw that awesome footage of them in the police office, the police headquarters and stuff. It looked great, but it was not indicative of the final game. And I think that they don't want to do that again. I think Quantic Dream is very talented. I also think Quantic Dream could be a first-party studio one day, so I think that they need to come out swinging, and I don't know if they need to do it right now.
Real quick before we move on to Nintendo, Project Morpheus. Do they show something like that on stage? Is it too hard to demo there?
They'll talk about it, I think, right? Like, that's the future and what they're building for. But yeah, a demo of anything sounds like that'd be really hard to pull off.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that on stage. I would imagine it's going to be at the show. They're going to have something for it.
Oh, right.
It was a really big deal during GDC here in San Francisco a couple months ago. So yeah, I would imagine it's there in some shape or form.
Yeah, I mean, so they have some first parties working on things. Sony London's working on the deep demo, and who knows if that's going to turn into a real game. Greg and I played it. It's cool tech, and it's just as cool as other VR that we've played recently. But can you show it off? How do you show it off? Is it commercially viable? Is it even ready? Is it even remotely ready to go?
Yeah.
Who knows? I actually think that it would be a mistake to show it and talk about it, but
I think it gets a small mention about the future-proof and where they're going with everything, but they need to talk about what's happening now. Because it seems like since even the launch of the PlayStation 4, people have talked about, it's cool, but why do I need it? What is happening with it? And nothing so far this year is really changing that, right? Like the biggest thing we know about imminent is Last of Us Again, which is great, but
that's what they should have named the sequel to Last of Us Again.
Last of Us Again.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I agree with you just in the sense that things are really barren from the first parties. I think there's cause to be excited about I think this E3 because one of these studios, one of these fully owned studios, whether it's Bend or whether it's Sony London or it's Media Molecule or it's Japan Studio or something, one of these guys is going to show a game that you don't know about. You know? And I think it's going to be Media Molecule. But that's exciting because there's not a lot of announced software coming out. We have The Order, we have Drive Club, we have Uncharted, and that's basically it for AAA games. What is Santa Monica doing? Is Sony San Diego doing something like other than baseball and stuff like that?
All that baseball.
Baseball. Yeah, when you said one of these studios are showing something, I'm hoping most of those studios are showing something. Like they need a reason for me to be like, oh yeah, I bought this last fall, and all of these games are coming out in the next year and a half.
But I also feel like they're going to have some announcements, but we also have to remember Gamescom is going to be in August, and Gamescom is slowly but surely becoming more important than E3, and especially for PlayStation. PlayStation's much bigger in Europe than it is in the United States, and so they're going to definitely save stuff for there as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if their European studios like Media Molecule maybe wait to show their stuff off. And that's the same thing with The Last Guardian being a Japanese game. Maybe it's best for TGS, but that game's coming, I'm telling you, Damon.
I mean, I hope so.
Can we run a montage of like the last 4 years of you saying that?
His hair is getting bigger and smaller.
Thanks, guys. Next up, we're going to be talking about Nintendo's E3 plans. Stay tuned.
Can I make one comment?
Yes.
Sorry.
Don't-
I don't think I'm on any of these other segments.
No, so you have something to
This
say.
is my last. I want everyone at home to pay close attention to the games announced and ask yourself at any press conference, any of the press conferences, where is Hayden Panettiere? Because she has been tweeting photos of her with the balls on her face in her mocap suit, doing her whole thing.
Something for a game?
She is working on a video game.
Why does that have to be a game? Couldn't she be doing it for a movie?
No way.
There's no way
I-
she could be doing mocap
I'm
for a
pretty
movie.
sure in some of the tweets it said video game.
Just Dance Nashville?
Don't tease me. What if it's SingStar Nashville, Marty?
Okay. All right. We'll keep a lookout
Thank
for her.
you.
Yeah. Next up is Nintendo.